Hello, welcome to the All or Nothing podcast. Our official sponsors are KR Couriers and Transport Limited. This is a Northwest based courier company delivering all across the UK. They can assist in home moves and removals to large, heavy and bulky items, collections and drop-offs. Fast, safe and reliable deliveries. Please get in touch for a free quote. You'll find all the information within the description. Thank you. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Billy Moore podcast, and today's guest once again is Tito, aka Anthony Russell. I never knew your name was Tito, but firstly, before we start, right, apologies for the last video.
Yeah, apologies. I'm sorry people, I went into a bit much detail and
It didn't sit right with a few people, did it?
Nah.
Which is understandable, and I appreciate you coming back on, it means a lot.
No mate, thank you for the
Right.
second chance, Billy. Thank you
Oh, well,
for
a
the
lot of-
second opportunity. I love you to bits, man.
Lots of people were looking forward to watching this, so I
Thank you,
thought
mate.
it'd be good to get you back on and kind of swerve all the stuff that you don't want to talk about.
Thank you, brother.
So tell us, right, let's not regurgitate what we spoke about, right? Let's talk
Honey.
about you today, how are you getting on, right, and where it all began.
I'm doing good, mate. I've been doing a lot of just a lot of writing, creativity. I've got a new album coming out. I've been ground working, and I've just been getting disciplined, and just working on my craft, beating up on it, working with different artists, and it's been a good journey, mate. I've been it's put me back, humbled me. I've always been humble, lad, but just I've been wild innit, and it set me back a bit. So obviously the things that happened, it's put me in a better light, made me see in the world more clear, and what I should be focusing on. You know what I mean?
No, you're a decent kid, I can see that straight away, mate. You've got the humility. Do you ever think
You,
that
mate.
you're over people please with some people? Do you think that you give a bit too much of yourself? Because I noticed that.
Lad, I think I do. I don't know how to explain it, but it's become me, who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go out my way a bit.
Why do you feel the
don't
need to
know.
do that?
I don't know, lad. It's like I never feel to be enough. Even though I'm sober, I'm still that way.
So, do you think you struggle with your self-esteem and your confidence in some areas?
Definitely,
because,
lad.
to be honest, right, it's all rooted in it, within
The addiction and the isms.
with the isms and the addictions. So, let's go back to the addiction, right, and then we can
man.
bring it to the day, right? So,
Cool.
you're using.
Mhm.
Where did it all start? Day one. Talk about that.
Day one, mate, I was going to St. Winnie's primary school, and me and my mates from time ago, Berger, and a few of my other mates, we were on Earlham Estate. This was like 99, 2000, and we were smoking ciggies and weed, and once we went to Savio the year after, and the whole year 7 to year 11 would be drinking. And it
In
went
school?
from- yeah. Not in school, in the North Park or the Derby Park or the King's Park, Stanley Road, wherever the school will go. And the big other schools like Hillside, George's. And once I had that drink, mate, I was just there then. I reckon I become an addict, alcoholic, as soon as I had, my first joint. Because I went on whiteys and that, you know what I mean? And I think I'm never touching that again. Like weed. But I got into weed heavily.
Yeah.
And then through school, mate, I was drinking on school nights, actual school nights, and going back into school with my mate. And it just went from there, mate. By the time I was 15, 16, I was snorting. I was in a flat called Graham's flat, and it was above a barber's that used to be open, but it was just an old Bondy.
Yeah.
I went with one of my mates, and I had a line, lad, and we were listening to all the Sugar Hill Gang, and it weren't like 79 when the Sugar Hill Gang was out, all them tunes, White Lines and all that. But the Pleasure Rooms was out then, you know what I mean? And it's
Better
funny.
days.
Yeah, that's the Penny a Pint and all that. Paul H and that, all them. And like, dun, 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 and all the parks were raving to it, you know what I mean? And even though we were only 16 and that, you know, we were listening to all that stuff. And we listened to rap, Afro Man. And just, you know, I started from an early age, mate. I was robbing off my mum and me dad. You know what I mean? And that's the type of stuff I do, mate.
Lots of fun, you have it.
Yeah.
So how did you feel, right? Let's go back to before you picked up, right? Because I know what it was like for me, but I want to know what it was like for you and see if we can like identify or have the similarities, right?
Okay,
so
mate.
what was you feeling prior to your first spliff and your first bevy? Internally?
I was high off life, you know. I was high off life and I loved being around everyone and I hated my own company. I always felt left out. I mean, my mum used to have a little drink. She was an alcoholic and she was already in AA. And my dad worked on the docks, but he liked the booze. You know the Royal that's on the corner of Bank Hall? Remember the Royal Boozer?
Yeah, it's
next to the you know, that barbers. That got burnt out in it. And he'd go for a drink in the Shaky, he'd go the Pitchy, sometimes the Swifts, the Vic or the Peacock. The Melrose Abbey, yeah, and the Cabin off was it the Kirkdale train station.
Yeah.
They're the type of boozers he'd go, and then he'd come home, and like my mum had had a bevy, she'd be out, and I'd like in school the next day, and he'd be knocking on the window, and I'd be in bed, and it'd wake me up. I'd go down, stand on the chair, let him in, and then there'd be, you know what I mean, there'd be arguments and sometimes that's how it was, lad. But I'd be out in the street while my mum would be drinking and I'd be chilling with kids who were older than me when I was like 9, 10 and like obviously we'd be having a game of heads of vods or whatever and I'd be out till bells. But I always had that hole in me. Not like crying out, I've got it, or like I need help, nothing like that. I'd always daydream in school, you know, stuff like that and always feel not left out but different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got that vacuum, haven't you? You've got to.
That's it, mate.
It's like you need to fill it with something.
Yeah.
And it's whatever you fill it with, it doesn't satisfy your soul.
Doesn't get you whole, does it?
No. The outside stuff, right? It's
external.
The external stuff doesn't fill that vacuum. It's got to come from within. And when you talk about being humble, right? And I read something like Oscar Wilde. I love reading Oscar Wilde, and he said, you know, no one can give you humility. It has to arrive from within. From within. Right? So it comes from within, right? It's like people can say, I'm humble. I'm being humble here. Yeah, but are you really? Is it integral? Is it come from? Are you grateful for what you've got? Wow. This is stuff that I was taught, and you know, and I kind of carried through life. You know, little cliches and little stories, and
philosophies and stuff. I read
things.
So interesting, lad.
I understand completely that hole and that loss. So you're sitting there, you know, what was you doing to fill that void?
Well, lads, you know, I'd stay in different mates, and I'd go to Boozer and watch, like, my mum would be on the karaoke. Yeah. I love me ma to bits. I was with her yesterday. You know, she's been sober now for a good 5 years. She's doing well, lad. Well done, mum. Thank you. And, lads, I love her to bits. I love me family to bits. But growing up, mate, as soon as I started mingling, once I started getting 12, 13, and you get to that age, and things start being passed about, and you're in that age group, aren't you, where you're all growing up together, and it just comes on the scene. Yeah. As soon as I had a whiff of joint, mate, you know, Snoop Dogg's album would just come out, Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? And like, I was listening to that and like... Inhale, exhale with my flow, 1 for the money, 2 for the bitches, 3 to get ready before the switches in my Chevy, 6 foot wide to be exact. I know Snoop lad, he's a great. It's right, lad. Ain't no fun, mate, dog. Yeah. That was the tune. Yeah. And, you know, gin and juice and all that. And like, we'd be chilling in Wolfenden Avenue, Jigger, and I'd be having a joint in that with all the boys. And I thought, this is it, man. I know, like, I'm in the footy team, the athletic team and that, but this is what I want to do and chill. And so I started smoking and I got lost in smoking weed, lad. That's all I wanted to do. And I was singing back then, lad, in like performance shows, talent shows, and I'd show off to me mates, and I'd be showing up with like 80 quid, and you know, to my embarrassment, that's what I used to do. I'd steal and be out saying, "Well, I've just sang here, lads. Let's get a bag of weed or let's get some ale," to like get gratification or to get, you know what I mean?
The acceptance.
Yeah, praiseworthy and, you know,
Acknowledged.
Yeah. And people would say, "Sing, lad," and I'd be on the street and I'd be singing.
A cappella.
Yeah, a cappella, no music. And that, I used to like doing that. I used to thought, maybe I can make it this way, just sing on the street.
What was you singing on the street that you could?
Stuff like Afro Man, you know, Palmdale, but then I'd sing Frank Sinatra, you know, Beyond the Sea, or just all different stuff, Trent D'Arby, without no beat, just sing. And I was getting recognition, and sometimes I'd go down Stanley Road, sometimes I'd go down Fernhill, I'd be on Marsh Lane, Earlham Estate. They're the places I used to chill, you know, Kings Park, and we'd just be getting bevy, just singing. And then I'd go to talent shows, and sometimes there'd be money, search for a star, you know, I'd get a trophy, I was up on the school, you know, platform and that. But really, lad, overnight, I'd be smoking weed and, you know, drinking, you know, behind the shops on Stanley Road or Bedford Road Subway. I used to chill there a lot. And then, you know, I'd started getting into trouble, getting arrested, drunk and disorderly, stupid things like that.
So did you spend a few nights in a few shells?
Yeah. Copy Lane, St Anne's. I remember working in Joseph Parr's when I was 19, and I'd lost all my boys, but I bumped into all the Scotty heads, you know what I mean? Yeah. All Dale Douglas and that, and I ended up with all them. We were in town, lad, and they were all bevying and on it. I just thought, and they were like, "Come with us, Tito." So I was with them, all like Greenwood and that, my mates from by the Sylvestrian, and I met them outside the Sylvestrian when I was like 17, but I was with them, and like I was singing on the streets and that, and lads, the plod just came over, this woman plod just wrapped me up and threw me in the busy van, and like they were all coming over, you know, all my mates and that from down there, and Jordan Greenwood, and saying, "You're all right, Tito, you've been nicked," and that was all I know. So then I went to the St Anne's and that, and he put me in the cell, and I woke up and it was like 5 bells, and I was ringing on the buzzer saying, "Look, I'm in work, it's Monday morning, lad, I've got to get to work," and that, you know, so they let me out and give me a fan, and it was just type of that stuff, nothing mad, nothing like aggressive. I mean, I did go away for something, but lads, I never hit no one. It was assault.
Did you go to prison for that?
Yeah, I went to the juvenile Lancaster Farms.
Wow. And
that was 12 months. I'd done 6, but lads, everyone knows me as not being. I was 17 and turned 18 in there. And I ended up doing this drama course in there. Yeah. And there was a few of my mates in there.
And you went to jail, to be honest.
Well, lad, we were in the courtroom, lad. And the judge went, "Can you point out the one who done the most damage?" And he's pointing at me. And
the littlest fella?
Yeah, I said, "You do know you're lying, lad, don't you?" I said, "You're lying." I said, "All right, I did. I ripped your car, you know, your plate off, and I kicked the women, but that was all I done, mate." And all my other mates were fighting with them. Yeah. And there was about 15 lads, and you know what I mean? But they came over to us and asked for a ciggy. And the next minute, a dead pigeon got bounced off his head, because, it was crazy. And then 2 of my mates, we were on Stanley Road chilling, 2 of my mates got nicked, you know what I mean? And then obviously we all got pulled in. Yeah. You know, I always say that, I'm sorry.
A lot of people were coming in now. Do you know what I mean? And
lads, even when I share, you know, when I'm in the rooms and that, that's all I say after it. I'm like, I need to swerve that.
It's part of who you are, lad, don't worry about it.
Yeah, scouts, aren't we?
Yeah.
But yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's crazy. I come out of there though, and I was going to Hubert College before that.
So what was it like though? Banged up in Lancaster Farms?
Well, the first night I met loads of people who were you know, we were known, and a mate of mine come over to me, "Oh, you're all right, lad, have you got burnt?" And the X Factor was on, you know, with all that Ridian and that. And I was sitting there my first night watching the X Factor. It was Saturday night. Yeah. Well, one of my first nights.
Had the telly in your pad, eh?
Yeah.
Touch.
One of the little sharp 18-inch, you know. Yeah. And we're on association. there was pool tables and that. And I was just sitting in the chair, just gathering my thoughts. And I was on the phone to my mate saying, I've just landed in Lancaster Farms here and how I'm here. You know, come and visit me. And then, like, Scouse lads, you know, some from Norris Green, some from...
They bring you the weed up?
You know what, mate? I didn't ever get nothing in.
No.
I'd get joints off kids who were in there and that, or, you know, burn. Because I was doing... I was doing... And you can do courses in there, can't you? Like cooking courses. They were doing this drama course and he said, you've turned 18, so you can do a young offenders course with the YOs. Yeah. And I was DTO, juvenile. So when I did go there, I was getting burn off them and then coming back on the wing. And like Righty, you know, Tyler Wright was there. There was loads. James Fagan, man. He was my good mate. He's passed away now.
What happened there?
Well, I met James Fagan and Ben Robinson, who I was working with earlier on. He was our mate. And, you know, I had a drink with James. He God rest his soul, man. He hung himself in 2016. And Michael Mailer, who I went to school with, was his, you know, good mate. And, you know, when I found out the news, I was blotto. I was drinking in the Mayflower. And that's where I met Vagan. James Vagan, man. And we went to the gym together and everything. And, you know, we never ever smoked burn or nothing. He was on the pad above me. And we used to watch Blair Witch. You know, they put like a jail channel on there where you could watch all. And we'd be out the window like, see that witch then, lad? You know what I mean? No, I can't watch this alone, lad. Stay out of your window with us, lad. You know what I mean? And everyone would be shouting out all, oh, did you see that then? On telly and that. And, yeah, it's sad. It's sad, mate. God bless him, man. He was a good kid. Good kid, man. He went to St. Michael's high school in Crosby. And he was in and out all the time, and you know what I mean? And we linked up together when we got out. And I was 21, I was working on the docks by this time. And we were just drinking Magnus Cider all day. I ended up bladdered, crashed out at his. He put Ghetto Quarter on by 50 Cent. And he was playing on GTA. And it's sad, man. I mean, this day and age, Bill, what's going on, lad, in life? You know, Michael Cheshire, another good friend of mine, just passed. God bless him, man. I'm going.
Too young, too soon.
Yeah, I'm going to another funeral on Wednesday. Who's really close to me. Sam, he's like a brother to me. Sam Rimmer and Jeremy. I'm going to, you know, God bless him, man. I love him to bits. I love him so much.
Was this Sam who was recently murdered?
Yeah.
So sad, mate. I mean, the bloodshed in Liverpool it's just been tragic.
Yeah. 3 doors away he lived. And it's bad, man. It's like, what's happening, lad?
We don't know. And this is something that we need to address as a city.
Yeah, it's every week, lad.
It's like it's not an individual kind of role. This is a city that needs to address, you know, issues that, you know, are affecting our communities, our children, our families, the people in our lives. You know, like yourself, you're feeling it there.
Yeah.
I see how tough it is, mate. I can imagine the feelings you're going through, especially when you're clean as well and you're experiencing them. Because when you're using, you're just burying them.
Yeah.
So it's a different ball game, and this is it's important because like when you're talking about like you're using, you know, and you were trying to fill that void, you know, you just fill it with drugs.
That's it. It's like you feel the pain, but you just go with the motion, lad, don't you? Yeah. And like, it's you'd have the day, and then you're sniffing and drinking. The bad news is going, and then you're cracking on, and it's just all about the next drink, innit? Yeah. The next line, and then
it's never ending.
It's 2 realities that you're living in, innit?
Right, we've got 2 lives, right? We live 2 lives, and we only begin to live the second one when we realise that we've only got 1 life.
Yeah.
How true is that? Yeah.
When you become sober and reality hits you in the face.
You've had this life of like turmoil growing up.
Yeah.
Prison, addiction, You know, now you're on a different journey. It's a new chapter, you know. So let's go back to your time in Lancaster. What changed after the drama group?
I come out and I was back in my mum's, Queen's Road, and they'd saved me presents because my birthday's in December. It was like April, and I still had all my PlayStation and that to open, GTA, all that. And two of my mates came round, and obviously my mum, she'd had a drink and she brought my birthday cake up and happy birthday, son. I was like, nah man, I'm cool. I got the dough. We went and got a bottle of vodka. We couldn't get limo, and I was in on tag, so we were just on the bevies. Yeah, three of my mates were chilling. We were playing. They went, and then when I got off tag, I was going to creative training back into this acting and performing arts school. But it only took me, you know, my first night. I was right back on the bevies, back into that life. Not so much criminal, but addiction. You know, drinking most days, snorting, smoking weed on the daily, and going to this creative training in town. You know, there was different rappers there. Murky from Lab TV, he's got his own network now doing videos and rappers, but it's been going for years and it's a belter channel, you know. Shout out to him. And Trems was there, you know, Trems the rapper.
Scouser.
Yeah, man.
Where's he now?
He's doing loads, lad. He's just smashing albums, mixtapes. I think he's up and down from London.
Yeah.
And that's where we met, you know. And we were singing, you know, we jump on the mic, we just have a bevy in there. All you needed to do in them little run-down colleges around the city, you go in, you sign on. Remember EMA? Used to get 30 quid EMA, and they were meant to get you there and, you know, to have your scran and that. But we just used to get paid EMA, go and buy a bag of weed, bevies and whatever, and we'd sit in the bombed out church. And it's not the bombed out church, it's all communal now, innit? And it's all like city living, and it's all for the city, that. But it was more empty then. You know, like back in 2008, you could just go in there, couldn't you? And have a joint and have a drink. And we'd all be chilling in there and there'd be dancers. You know, we'd go in there and they'd have a drink with us. And we all just used to have a jam. Just have a jam. Enjoy life. 18, you know, trying to make something of ourselves. Now, when I was in Lancaster Farms before then, I was in Liverpool Community College and they were really, like, you know, fond of me. And when I told them the news, they rang me ma while I was away saying, look, we don't care what he's going through or where he is. Get him back here once he comes out. So over the summer when I enrolled for creative training, I was enrolling for the September year of the acting, doing my first diploma in Liverpool Community College. So I went there, Paul Carmichael, and I must have lasted till about March because I weren't getting no EMA. I was doing the acting, I was doing the theory side of it, and I loved the practical side, being on stage, singing, acting. But Joseph Paz got in touch with me. My uncle Mark, he's the manager, and he said, I've got you a job there in this timber yard. So I said, yeah, sound, I'll be there. When is it? I'll start a week Monday. So I went into Paul Carmichael, who was our year tutor, year head, and he said, you're fucking round the bend. He was like us.
Yeah.
He said, look, I've been your age and I've been trying to, you know, I've had auditions and all that. He said, we can get you, you know, Ollie Oaks auditions. We can get you decent upcoming auditions. What can set you up? He said, you've got it. You can do it. You've just got to keep going and it'll come. And I said, look, I'm getting no EMA. I'm living at home with me ma. You know, as if I was like 28 or something. The time's going and, you know, I need to make something of my life. Yeah. I was only like 19, 20. And I said, I'm just going to sing around pubs and, you know, I've got a job now. I can get some money and, you know, I want to go for it this way. And he said, you're fucking round the bend. Yeah. If you want to make that decision, Anthony, well, you walk out, but it's the wrong decision. And then I love him to bits, though.
Yeah.
You know, Paul Carmichael, he helped us a lot, lad. He was there for us, you know, not just to teach us. He sat us down, you know, and had a lot of time for us because he's seen what, you know, the students were going through just in the home life and that, you know. And I had a lot of time for him. He had a lot of time for us. I've got nothing but respect for Liverpool Community College. It was boss, man. So then going to Joseph Paz, mate, flipping heck. I'm getting paid on a Thursday night now, and I'm hardly making it into the Friday because I'm lending dough off my ma through the week, and I'm just getting bevy most nights. I'm drinking in the Swifts. I'm a worky now, you know. And you know, I lost that job, lad, within like 6 months. I sang at the boss's family's wedding. And this was like 2 months in, and it was like a 3-month trial. Yeah. And he come in the Monday and went, you've got the job, you know, because I sang all like a Frank Sinatra tribute. And his son, who was at the party, said, all right, Tito, where are you? I said, I'm in the Shaky, lad. It's Friday night. I'm out with my mate Paddy. And I met Paddy in a party in Scotty in the Sylvestrian. And this is, we're in the Shaky, and he said, we'll get to this party, lad. There's a karaoke here. Come and do a few songs, lad, for the family. I said, sound. Got a taxi up there. And I'm off it now. I'm right into it. Twisted. And I'm all on the stage, all doing a show. You know what I mean? And lad, all the family like, yes, and that. And they were made up. And then I'll go back to an after party with them, and everything's boss. And I'm not like an aggressive drunk. You know, when I get drunk, I'm just a bit wild and out, you know what I mean? People are like, fucking hell, when's he gonna chill? You know what I mean? Get him out of here, lads, you know what I mean? A pain in the arse, lad. And then I went into work the Monday and he went, you've got the job, well done. And I was good worker, lad. I make sure like the shop, the retail was clean. You know, I'd be doing like, you know, the dropouts where like the lorries have got to take different materials out. But the nightlife and that just got to me, mate. And that was how it was in most jobs. I worked on the docks from then. I worked in the skipyards. I worked on the railway for 2 years. 2015 I got on the railway. And some of the tricks, some of the shady things I used to do, mate, in addiction, you know. I was a bad boyfriend, a bad father. You know, 2 years I lasted on the railway. Yeah. And I kind of went from job to job there. I mean, I was a grafter. But as soon as you had money in my hand, lad, I didn't care, lad. I'd go and celebrate, I'd go and drink, and I'd miss the Mondays. And there was one time when I got my PTS snapped up by Buckingham's and Network Rail. There was a big work brief with these Network Railers. They come in and done a big work brief. And I'd been staying off on the Saturdays and some of the Mondays. And I come in one Monday. I was drinking Carlin on the way in. I'd been out for like 3 days. I hadn't even been home for a shower or nothing. I'd come back in my oranges. And I'm sitting in the work brief with a big whiteboard, you know, like a room like this. Yeah. All oranges, all the big wigs are Network Railer there. And I fell asleep in the meeting. And they're going, Anthony, the main boss, one of the main bosses from Buckingham's comes over and goes, Anthony. He said, you alright? So I jumped up, oh yeah, I'm alright. He went, no, you're not. Downstairs for the DNA. So I go downstairs. And I get a bottle of piss off me mate, because I know I'm not going to pass the piss test. But when it come to blowing on the breathalyzer, I was over like 5 times. And he just went, look, you're a good worker and we love you. But on your bike, lads, we're not going to, you know, you're over. Give me your PTS. So then, when I come out of work, this is 2017, I was drinking every day then. You know, I was still, you know, dipping me ma when I get drunk with her, you know, because she was having a little drink then.
So you was zapping her?
Yeah. And just, I go up for bottles of alcohol and I chill and I get pissed and I get on the phone to mates from County or, you know, my mates from Bootle. They'd be giving me something, I'd strap something as well, and then I'd just be
forever
in my room, lads. Yeah, and I'd be in my room, lads, listening to all old school tunes or old school rap.
On your own?
Yeah, on my own. And I'd phone my mates to come round, and then we go to the pitch pan or something, and I'd be in their company. But I weren't. I'd just be on my headphones, just in my own little world, getting twisted. And I had the Irish mates from Stanley Road who lived in the flat on Stanley. And I'd be chilling with all my other mates on Stanley Road, or I'd be going up Fairhill, and I'd be going in the Cuckoo, places like that, and just be getting pissed, and just they'd all be talking and I'd just be in my own little world, mate, just listening to music, twisted out of my head. And I'd be going to parties and I'd just be just in my own world, just twisted. And then, you know, I paid for me CSCS card and it was in this Bootle gaff and I'd have to wait like a week. And when I get pissed, before I go to do my test, I go to the office and get the money back. You know, the 150 for the, you know what, it's the 3-day course, innit? I get the 150 back. And then I book it in again. And they go, you're definitely going to do it this time. Be like, yeah. And then they'd be like, I go back and get the money, you know, when I'd run out. And that was the type of stuff I'd done, Billy. Just, you know.
Just never ending.
never ending, mate. Just
So what happens? So you've got all this going on, right? So your life's just like in disarray. You know, you're not sticking to jobs. No durability or stickability in anything.
Couldn't hold the job down,
right?
Like.
So then X Factor.
Yeah.
How did that come? So you're not doing too good. Like you're not managing your affairs, and then all of a sudden you're thrust into this.
It was crazy. I got an inbox on Facebook.
Twisted again.
I'm twisted, but I'm singing in the places like the park. You know, the park in Tubruch.
Yeah.
And I'm singing in all, you know, boozers, boss boozers. You know what I mean? Just boss little boozers where you go and have an ale and just, you know, some are decent boozers, some are daves.
You didn't need any instruments, no, just turn ups.
No, I had my equipment then, but I was using someone else's gear, you know. And Alan Bullock from the Pitchy, I love you to bits, man. He used to give me his PA to go and sing, and I sang in the park. And I'm throwing videos up on my Facebook, making a show, but I'm singing stuff like George Benson and stuff. And this inbox comes, a lad called Eric, who's like not an agent. What is this? Someone who's looking for talent.
Yeah. Scout.
Yeah, like a scout. Yeah, man. And he says, yo, you've been on the X Factor 10 years ago. We think you could go a long way. We think you've got a great voice and good durability.
Yeah, because you were there when you were a kid, weren't you?
Yeah. I got launched out of boot camp though from then, because we were all partying then, lad. And that was even then, lad, I was that addict. You know
How old was you then?
17. And then 27, fast forward 10 years later. So I say, oh, this will wind up, mate. No, it's all right. As if, because it was too good to be true. And he went, no, what's your number? So I gave him my number. He said, look, we've got auditions there in the room corner. And that was in town. And I went with Rakeem Abaru, my mate. He runs events now. And on my new album coming out, By the River, we co-written a tune together called Face These Times Alone. And we're still mates to this day now. So we go this audition, and he comes with me, and I'm with, you know, Peter Sincere and Bold that time. You know, they were helping me a lot. I was writing up to an album then in 2017, but even then, in Bold Street, in Bold's management, they never had me management. They were just helping me out, letting me do writing sessions, record, you know, giving me good studio time for nothing, proper helping me out. But I'd show up there bladdered, and I'd have beak on me, you know, in the acting things, and I'd turn up there lemoed, lad, getting into character lemoed, you know what I mean, on set, acting. It was fucking mad. And then he says, you know, there's an audition there, so I do the audition. I sang like a minute of Issues. He said, yeah, perfect sound, but I've got this black eye. And I said, look, what about this? He went, no, don't worry about it. So I'm in this audition in the Titanic.
How did you end up with a black eye?
Well, I sang in the park, and I'm walking through Tubruch, and, you know, on by County and that, and these kids just roll up, and there's birds with them, and he said, yo, sing a song there, Tito, lad. Know what I mean? So I sing that Issues, and like, they're saying, wow, he's alright and he's decent, and he's passing the phone to his mate, and I knew what was coming, lad, so I just carry on singing, and he's coming round the back of me, and as I'm singing, lad, he just went boom. So I've just...
On camera?
Yeah.
It's heavy
what a stunt, though, eh?
It's heavy, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it was
cheeky, man.
Crazy. And
then did it go viral?
Yeah. Well, it was mad. They put it out, but then when my audition come out, they never knew I was coming on X Factor. And then I've went home, lad, and my ma's been having a drink and that, and I've had the black eye, and she's, oh, what's up and that? What's happened? Mum, I just do me a brandy there.
You got bullied there, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, it was that type of scene all the time, lad. Yeah. So wherever I was in the streets, people would be like, wow, there's a tune there. You know, and then I'd sing, and then I'd chill with them and have a bevy. You know, that was me way in. Like, they'd say, oh, Tito off X Factor, gives a song, lad. Tight with your sweet. So I'd sing, and they'd say, you're all right, you lad, chill with us. And then I'd chill with them. Kids who didn't even know. I could be down Dingle, I could be on Page Moss, I could be down Scotty, or
so you're anywhere. Getting loads of fucking drugs.
Yeah, but this is before any of this.
Yeah.
Or like audition come out. So then, that's how I got the black eye anyway. And then it was a week before me audition in front of the judges, because I had that black eye in it. So I'm in my ma's, and she's like, what's happened? And I'm looking in the mirror. I've had one of them. I'm having a drink. My ma.
Did you go down when he hit you?
Yeah, lad, I was out for the bath. 10 minutes out cold. But I jumped up and I still had my phone. And I still had 50 quid on me, lad.
Sly.
From singing. So I thought, sound. I'll go home and just have a drink, innit? So I'm at my mate, so what's happened? Oh, I'm alright, ma. I'm just having a vodka now. We'll just chill in that. So I've done a vodka and that, and I'm looking in the mirror thinking, fucking hell, I'm on X Factor next week in front of the judges. How can I do this? So I'm emceeing in the boxing, for House of Scouse. John Porter, what's happening, lad? He's doing another show in December, don't miss it. And I'm presenting all the boxers, saying, all John Carter and that, they were fighting then. And I'm saying, so-and-so's up, give it up for him. And then I'd do like an Amy Winehouse song, waiting for the fighters and that. And then they'd come on and fight. And I've got this black eye in a suit. And I've got my audition in the Titanic on the Monday. I thought, fuck it, I'll get on it. They're not going to phone me back now, X Factor, fuck it. So...
I ask you a question before you carry on.
Yeah.
Did you ever find out who done that to you?
Yeah.
Heavy,
I don't want to think,
No.
I mean, if I seen him today, I'd probably shake his hand and say, look, because he's much younger than me. Yeah. He's only a kid. I think he was about 18 at the time. I'd probably shake his hand and try and, have a scram with him and just talk to him. Just say, lad, swerve all that life,
Try and give him a bit of guidance.
Yeah, man. Innit?
See, that's the difference between...
Because it could have been a blade or anything, lad.
Yeah, that's the difference between you and him. I'm sitting here, that's the first time I've heard it, I've never seen nothing before. So I'm quite curious as to what happened and why he did it. And it's just trying to humiliate you on camera and make a show of you.
Yeah,
and it is like, and it's bullying. And if you did see that kid and you had the opportunity, then...
Yeah, I'd always, because, lad, I was never a banger, on the streets. Yeah. Gang banging or, don't get me wrong, there's been a few little things in that
it makes me
where
angry
people have tapped me in with people, but...
It angers me that
these kids need guidance, don't they?
You've done something
it could have been
for someone, right, as a favour, right, they took advantage. They took a liberty there and just sparked you. It's
crazy.
It is, mate. See, this is what we don't want to be. It's feral.
Yeah. But that's what it kind of looked. People think, Lay's an easy touch him, he's a pushover. Yeah. But I sang, and people say, no, he's alright, isn't he? You know what I mean? And then he've passed the camera, and, obviously I just carried on singing, and what would be...
Did you know you were going to get it stolen?
When he's come round behind me, and like, growing up in Liverpool, lad, you know anything, don't you? You can see if you're getting lined up, or you can see it coming, can't you? Even when you're speaking to someone who's, who you feel nervous around, you can feel it, can't you?
Did you give them any reason to do that? That's all.
Mate, I just
sang a song for them.
Yeah. It's just...
Anyway, let's move on. It's horrible, mate, what they did. So, you got this black eye.
Yeah. And I went into the audition, but I was off. I'd been on like a 3-day bender, and the fellas phoned me up, the producer, said, yo, Anthony, we're in Titanic Hotel, we're in town today, are you coming? And I said, oh mate, is there any shows going tomorrow? I totally forgotten that. And he went, no, the judges are in town today, we want you on the show today. I said, sound, lad, I'll be there with me 5 songs. They said, bring 5 songs that you're going to be back up.
Yeah.
And then my mate, Joey, I've been speaking to Joey Tumbel lately. He's a blue, know what I mean? And he's from Wavo. I used to go to his, and I think we were on the CSES course, but the doll put me on anyway. And he said, I've got a few t-shirts there. He gave me a Montclair t-shirt and this green Hugo Boss striped shirt, and that was the audition I'd done. I thought, I haven't got nothing. I thought, I'll throw that on. I'll throw them, these like fainted black jeans, know what I mean, like chinos. And I had a pair of like Nike Air, know what I mean. So I've went on the show, and I'm there, lads, all day, and I'm like, when's my audition? And I've just come off a 3-day bender, lads. I'm anxiety. I thought, what am I doing here? These aren't going to want to see me. I've got a black eye. And I had issues. I'd done issues. Come out, 4 yeses. Seeing Dermot O'Leary. The judges were proper sound with me. And then I thought, oh my God. I'm doing the X Factor. I've just had 4 yeses. The latest X Factor, 2017. I know when I'm thinking about James Arthur, winning in 2011, 12. I'm thinking about previous winners, thinking, I could actually make, if I just make the finals, you know, just the live shows. I'm thinking, that's going to be televised. And like, I'm arguing with like people in my life. And I thought, I can't wait for you to just see this. I'm not going to say nothing. And then the audition comes out. And then I'm in town, you know. Tinhead off Brookheap, remember him?
Yeah.
He was really good to me.
Olivia.
Yeah, Philip
Olivia.
Yeah, he's boss, man. He had me on his buses, getting loads of support in 2017. But, you know, I went through boot camp that year, and I was put in the Hilton, and there was loads of us, just like me, musicians. And loads of musicians, they're dead creative, but they love a party. And it was just one big party. And I was drinking most days while I was doing, you know, the auditions. I weren't drinking on set, and I was never on the drugs down there, but I was having bevies most days. After my audition, I'd have a bevy, I'd link up with people, have a bevy, because I can just land somewhere and talk to anyone, you know, like you, Billy.
Yeah.
You're people's person, innit? You help the city. And
a social butterfly, aren't we?
That's
what
it,
we
mate.
do. We just interact with everyone.
Yeah.
Life's too short not to communicate and have a laugh and just be a bit nice to someone. You know?
Man. It's mad. So then, in boot camp, lad, I'm drinking most times, and they get on to me being like not a problem or a liability. They notice, you know, something up here. So I go through the 6-tier challenge, and you know, don't have to do a sing off or nothing, straight through. And then I'm going to the judges' houses. Now I'm at this time, lad, I'm still drinking every day. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to judges' houses, and things aren't going well. I've got no work and nothing. I'm banking on this. But I'm drinking most days. I'm bumming off people, you know. I'm strapping up off people. And I'm saying to them, lad, I'm on the X Factor. I'm showing them on my phone about being down boot camp. I'm saying, lad, you know what I mean? I'm going to make something of my life. You know, and they'd be like, yeah, Tito, no problem.
You know, if they, look, if they had anything about them.
Mad, innit?
Yeah, but you know, if they had anything about them, right, they'd have went like, look.
No, lad, go for that.
Go for that. Right, we don't want to give you nothing. Right, because it's going to ruin your career. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. I'm thinking to myself, wow, your story is so similar to mine. The opportunities that come around. And the times that I fuck it up. Just because, right, I just want one more.
Yeah.
Right? I want to change the way I feel. Right? I need something in me to give me that courage to do it. You know, I've had members of my family dying, mate, and I couldn't even go to the funeral without something inside me. Yeah. You know, that to turn up late, or it's sad. And the things that we do, you know, it's crazy. It's
mad, mate, innit?
So and that's what I mean. You're just
like in the meetings and stuff. If you don't mind me speaking like this, you've always reached to me, mate. You know, when your film was going and you said, look, I'll help you to, you know what I mean? When I was alien, and you've always had time for me, mate. You know, and we done meetings together, and we had brews, and you know, you come to our mates first show when he was doing a podcast, our mate Joe Gerrard, and you were there, and it was good to see you, mate, and you reached out, you gave me your number, and let's link up, and you know, thanks a lot, Billy, mate, because you've always been there for me, mate, and I've got nothing but respect and love, mate, from my heart to you, mate. And it's,
appreciate
you know, I appreciate being here, mate, and you know, talking about, you know, being in the depths of addiction and that. Because I know I can speak to you over anything, mate.
What a story, though. What a story, that, you know, of perseverance and resilience. Yeah, so your recovery, right? We've gone through the addiction. X Factor, I think most people know the story behind that. Yeah. Went a bit tits up. Louis was a big friend of yours. Massive help. He helped you a lot. Sadly, things didn't work out. And do you believe, because I read something in the paper, The Echo, I don't know what your thoughts are, where he said, you know, I can't remember what the title was, but I think he spoke to you about it. It was something about how it almost ended your life. Yeah, you're being paid.
Yeah, that weren't the thingy, lad.
Was that bullshit?
Well,
say it how it is, because this is...
You know what I said? Like, I thought, I'm looking at the photo on The Echo like that, as if to say... that paycheck nearly killed me. You know what I mean?
Because it was the day after our podcast. Mad that, weren't it?
It was crazy. And Ryan approached me off The Echo and said, look, we've been seeing you, and you know, we want to know what's going on. How what's happening? You got new stuff coming, and just talk about, can we get an interview off you? So I said, yeah. And like I mentioned, I was made up that they paid me because it gave me an opportunity to get to meetings, and I got sober, but I got sober for 11 months then. And he said, well, I said, you know, they paid me like half, and if, you know, the way I was, if I kept a clean sheet, I said to him, if I kept a clean sheet and come off that tour without getting caught out, and I got paid, picture the things I would have been doing, lad. I would have been
picture you rolling.
That's what I mean. Yeah, Tupac. And then, lad, I was doing shows off it on you know, on the tour. So if I hadn't have been caught and they put me through rehab, you know, after the show to come back on tour, and I messed up again, lad, and I was on tour, but without them knowing I'd messed up for the third time, I'm being devious after the show's taken. Now, if I come off with the full pay, the way I am, all egotistical, I've just done that, you know, where do you want to go, lads? I've got some dough in the bank, we'll go and have a bevy. You know the way we are. When anything that feeds your ego when you're in addiction, you're like that, aren't you? Having a boy, I'll go to shops, we'll get this, we'll just get some of that, and we'll just party. You know, God knows what would have happened, lads. I would have been, you know, and then they've, you know, not twisted it, but said, to make a headline, back to the X Factor. Yeah. And if it was my choice, I would have wanted it to say, Anthony Russell's coming back with a new album. Yeah. But I've been out, you know, for a few years now. I haven't put nothing out, so they've said X Factor pay could have killed me. Full pay. Yeah,
but the X Factor doesn't define who you are, mate, and that's how it is, right? Would you ever go back on it?
Probably not, because I come third out the whole thing. I mean, I've been on the tour and stuff, but I've done the live shows. I mean, if I was to go back on it, would I say, this is it, I'm back sober. You've seen me before. I don't know what I couldn't. They're not going to give me a record deal, are they?
Britain's Got Talent, is that anything similar, or I don't fucking know. I don't know, it's all these reality shows there.
I mean, the competition on there, lad, is just...
It's not more.
The competition is, lad, it's
sky high.
The highest, lad. You've got 7-year-olds now doing poetry. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like David Attenborough. You've got proper comedians. You know, who's that kid? Alex Sutton, who just won it, who was sick. He had me in stitches.
Was he funny?
Yeah, proper, lad. You've got the dancers who can proper, you know, you've got the magicians, you're up against them, lad. Yeah. I mean, they've seen all singers on there before. You've had your Paul Potts, you know, and you know, you've had other singers on there who are sick, but then you've got other competition, lad, you're up against the best, aren't you, lads, in the country? Because it's a country show, lad. It's like the Pride of Britain. I don't want to be like
a magician
washed up, you know what I mean, going on there. You've seen me before, you know what I'm about. I'm coming to sing a little song.
I've got a magician coming on here. It's a face.
Boss, innit?
So yeah, look, let's swerve the X Factor. We don't need to go down that road, mate. We know all about that stuff, don't we? I want to talk about you know, the joys of recovery now. How clean are you?
I'm 2 years, 8 months now.
2 years, 8 months. Wow.
Because when I'd come off the X Factor, off the tour, you know, I used that money to get well and then, get sober. Yeah. And then I lasted 11 months. So then, after the 11 months, it was only like a 12-hour binge. You know, I'd fell off. I was watching that American Gangster. Yeah. And they're all on that blue magic. You know, and then I thought, so I had one sip.
I was over there when they were filming that.
Was you?
I was in silent bits of it.
Sick.
Denzel Washington,
lad. That's sick, that, brother. Yeah.
They were filming in Chiang Mai.
Belter. So 11 months I lasted, and then I went again, but this time I'm 2 years, 8 months, not including the 11 months. Yeah. In the whole time I've had one binge, but since that binge after 11 months I've done 2 years, 8 months.
So you're 2 years abstinence, 2 years, 8 months.
Abstinence, mate.
And how was it the process? You know, from day dot. Is it like to just clawing back? Well, like reality and going, okay,
reality, mate,
I'm not gonna use, like, because it'll tell you something, like I've said this a few times, and there's people out there who relate to these podcasts, who love listening to stories like this because you know, they're in that world where they want to get out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you stop using drugs, right? That's the first part.
Yeah.
Then you become like, it's like you've got like a lamp, right, with a shade over it.
Shade over it, and your
take
layers.
Take the shades off, and then you're bare.
Bare, mate.
You're like a bare bulb. You're quite vulnerable, right? You're sensitive. You've got all these feelings going on because you've masked. Or
walls and walls, mate.
Yeah, you've got like, you've been in a narcotic stupor. You've been lying, manipulating to the family. You know, you're hiding drugs. You're sneaking out. You're creating arguments with family members just to get off.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not back in for days because of the guilt and the shame.
You're trying not to lie.
Yeah.
Because all that's still with you, isn't it?
Yeah. So you've got this way of you've got to. Someone said to me, Billy, you only need to change one thing. I went, oh yeah, that's all right, isn't it? He said, that's everything, you know.
Wow.
I went, well, fucking everything you're messing on, you mate. I like this and I like that. I like you, mate.
Yeah.
Because I was like a crazy mixed up kid who didn't know how to live life and like deal with things and cope. You know, all the rejection, all the experiences that other people had that I never had. You know, so it was quite difficult. So going from day dot in your recovery, one day at a time, how did you stay?
One day at a time. Well, lad, I was 19 and I'd done my first AA meeting, but I didn't want to know. I knew that was where the answers was, in the rooms, and I'd go away and then I'd come back for 3 weeks, get a bit of sobriety, well, nothing really, and then I'd, feel all right and then get back on it. And that's how it was through the years. And then when I'd come off X Factor and done 11 months sober and I fell off again, I went again, was getting into the steps with my sponsor, and then the reality hit you, and I thought to myself, I'm not really like the addict, Anthony. I don't really like the big attention and singing in the street. I'm a bit more laid in the cut. I'm a bit more, private. Yeah. A bit more, not timid, just a bit, not shy. I don't know how to explain it, but I like to just chill now. And so going to the meetings and stuff, I still had all like, yeah, what's happening, lad? Are you going to go back on it? And oh, you messed up there, lad, didn't you?
And it's hard, isn't it? But you're still getting the attention, like even at meetings.
Yeah.
People want to take pictures with you, and there's nothing. You're trying to. People don't understand that the fact that you're an addict.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You go in there because you've got a problem.
Yeah,
you're not going there for a celebrity status, right? Or for someone to throw a bouquet of flowers at you, because that attention, and it happens. When you people know who you are, and they let on to you constantly. It becomes a little bit like daunting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to speak to me because do you want to get to know me, or because do you know something about me, or they've seen me? How did that?
Well, when I'd be in town and that, some people who I'd known for years say, "Oh lad, you fucked up there, lad, didn't you?" And you'd be like, "I know, man." And even though, it's the truth, lad. Yeah. Facing the truth. I messed up, lad. Someone come out.
But you don't need someone to tell you that you messed up, because you know you messed up.
Yeah.
Simple
and
as.
Like, yeah, man.
No, you don't need someone to remind you and go, yeah, I'm going to shovel loads of guilt on you. Shovel loads of shame. Yeah, lad. Shave you up with that.
Have that.
Yeah.
Try not to,
while you're on the floor, I'm going to boot your
head. Try
head.
not to take a drink now, lad. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Boot you in the face at the same time. But yeah,
that comes with it, doesn't it?
It does, lad. It's hand in hand.
Someone
said to me, Bill, you fucked up. I go, all right, yeah, it sounds.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. I know you.
Yeah, man. Ain't it, brother?
Yeah.
And you're strong, lads. You're, because you can deal with that, can't you? Being the person who you are. But the person they don't know who you really are.
No, but it didn't. What you need to understand as well, Andy, right? Is when from dates off for me, I was like really sensitive, right?
Yeah.
I had to develop a tough skin. When people started saying things to me, because I'd react like really angry. I'd get volatile. I'd be fucking fuming. Who's he talking to? I'd be plotting up, going home, full of resentment, bitterness, and I'd be thinking, so when I see this, I'm going to smash his head in when I go back there. Who the fuck does he think he is? Bangers him, mate. I'll show him. And I used to, and I wouldn't even be focusing on myself. I'd be focusing on other people and what they said, and I'd be losing sleep overnight, tossing and turning, right? Thinking
in your head,
right? I swear in the morning, right? Then wake up and think, I've had a shit night there, sleep. And then you see them, you're just like, So what I learned was like, I had to go and like develop that courage and go, look, I'll tell you something, right? I didn't agree with what you said there yesterday.
Living by a name.
Yeah. Spiritual kind of principles, yeah. I didn't agree with what you said yesterday. And I used to cringe when I go, you hurt me feelings. You want to hurt your feelings? Don't hear me. Yeah, you hurt me feelings, lad. So a point where I wanted to rip your windpipe out, right, with my bare hands, right, and wear your skin. That's how bad it became with me, mate. I was going to roll in your skin. Yeah. Start serving up people with your swag. But, you know, anyway, so for me, it was tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, what? Now I've been in recovery for over 16 years, 17 years. My journey hasn't been straight. I've got a 5-year stretch coming up in the next 10 days. I'll be 5 years.
Brilliant, mate.
And that's a miracle.
Well done, lad.
Thank
well
you,
done,
mate.
mate.
I appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, man.
And now I've got to a point in my life, right, where I feel really comfortable in my own skin. You can say what you want to me. You can jump on a platform and call me all the names under the sun. I think, he needs a hug him.
Yeah. Exactly.
He needs a bit of.
I'll pray for him.
You know, because that's who I was.
Yeah.
Because I felt really inadequate about myself. I felt really insecure and envious and jealous of other people that I'd put them down to make myself feel better.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So one of them, I'll be pointing to one thing and I'll be 3 back.
Yeah.
So now I'm in a place of acceptance of who I am.
Yeah, and
I like
gratitude.
Myself. I do. I like who I am, to be honest.
You should do, lad, because you're a legend. Look what you do for the city, mate. You know, you're helping the youth.
I could change, like
campaigns you put on, and you know, in the rooms, mate. You do service, and you know, when I come around again, lads, you know, you welcome me with open arms, Bill. You were always there for me, mate. You know,
well, you know
day dot, and I thank you for that.
Because you've got willingness, right, Andy, and this is important. I know we're on a little bit of a random tangent, but it's great. I want to find out how you cope with today. How do you live life on life terms? Tell our audience how you cope today without using drugs. Because you've had a hell of a life like myself using.
Thank you, brother.
Now you've got a couple of years under your belt. How's it been?
Do you ever do meditation?
Go to the gym. That's my meditation.
Yeah,
meditation,
it's a good outlet, lad, isn't it? Yeah.
Meditation, right, I learned years ago, you don't have to sit in a room or on your own and start like sitting with your head, because like it's all about focusing on one thing. Yeah. Right now, when I go to the gym, present. When I go to the gym, I'm present. I'm working out.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I know what I've got to lift. I know what I've got to where I'm running. Yeah, when I'm driving, I'm meditating because I know where I'm in the moment and focusing. That's what meditation is: being present in the moment.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to mean I've tried meditating in jail cells. Let's trying to blag it.
Yeah.
When I open like that. Mate, just dying just to be at peace.
Yeah. Peace of mind.
Go for it, lad. Didn't work. You know what I mean? I used to see. I had been in cells with these Buddhists, mate, and they're spiritual as hell. You know, I was like a lecky mouse just running around, and they're all just sitting
full of energy.
Yeah. Just didn't know where to. Couldn't settle. Couldn't relax. Couldn't focus. And still, you know, today, you know, I'm a little bit better.
Yeah, man. Boss. Well, I do like, because I work, don't I? I'm working for Graham's Midwest over in Wirral Waters, and we're doing like five days a week. I'm up at like 5:30, so I'll do a boiled egg on toast, and then I'll do a 10-minute meditation, like a breathing exercise, but it's good for your voice and singing. I'd have a coffee, and I'd try and set my stall out as well. I do my morning messages to people, like in the recovery WhatsApp groups and that, and then I'll try and just set my stall out well. Sometimes, lad, things don't go as good as others, but that's life, and I just try and keep it as steady as I can, mate. And
routine.
Yeah, just a routine, mate. I do my meetings of a night through the week. I do my studio sessions.
You got a balance.
I have my daughter through of a night in the week. Yeah, so some weekends are more crazy than others because, you know, I'm working on my second album in the studio overnight. I'm doing writing sessions. I'm doing acting classes. I'm with my daughter, and it's never ending, mate. But I'm busy, and I'm grateful to be busy. But yeah, AA is like a social, social, network. Social network. That's my social life now, lad. Because I don't go I don't go to town for a juice.
So like we talk about like
what are you having, lad? A vodka? Go ahead, lad, I'll have a juice. Are we here till 4 tonight? Yeah, I'm on the waters all night. Let's go to Concert Square, lads. I'll have a packet of nuts and water all night.
Surround yourself with positive people. I bumped into a mate of yours last week, Mikey. Yeah, he played in Little Boy Blue.
Yeah, Michael Moran.
Yeah, Mickey, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Alright, Mike.
Alright, Mike. He's just done an
nice kid, him.
Yeah, he played the main part in my music video, Raz. I've done 4 music videos for this album, and I got in touch with him. I got his number off Ian, big fella. He's a blue, you know, Ian, his mate, and he put me in touch with him. And I said, lad, it'd be an honour if you could act in this video called Raz. It's about a boxer who's having trouble in his life with he's having a kid with his bird, and he's having trouble on the streets. And it's like a story. This music video called Raz. I'll send you it. Yeah. And yeah, it was an honour to have him in the video because he's a brilliant actor and he's a brilliant writer. You know, he's a good musician, lad. He's a lovely kid. He went to Savio as well.
So how's your life today then? In a nutshell,
mate, I'm grateful for where I am. I'm singing most weekends. I'm doing like a duo thing with a good mate of mine, Franny Seagraves. I love you, lad. And we're out there gigging, and that helps me with my studio money, and I put it with me construction money, and I get studio time for that, and I record, mate. I'm just building something to come back again, lad. So I've worked to get a first album.
And where can we get your album?
It's going to be on all platforms very soon. I've got my first music video coming out in weeks.
So this is Anthony's new album.
By the River.
Anthony Russell, By the River.
Obviously the River Mersey, innit?
Here's the right.
We got 12 songs on there, produced by Christopher Griffiths and Pat O'Shaughnessy. Yeah. I've co-written 5 songs with Chris.
So this will be on all platforms?
Yeah, that'll be on all platforms soon. I've got like 400 of them. You know, obviously you're a dear mate of mine. It's an honour to give you it.
So if you want to get one of these, where can you purchase them from?
Well, I'm just going round on the streets selling them for $10 each, but and it's going well, mate. The support, I'm landing anyway. You know what I mean? I'm not knocking on doors like, do you want cable? I'm just, you know, I'll send a message.
I should do that with my books, lads. I've got a fucking booth full of books. I ended up ordering loads of them. And I have a name. The publisher said that they get rid of them, and I just never. So if anyone wants to buy a book,
yeah, it's right, lads.
I'll stop with Anthony Russell.
Innit?
By the River. Right, that's okay, so we've come to the end of the podcast. I've loved this one. It's different from the last one.
Thank you so much, Billy.
Always.
And I loved the last one. It was just on my side, and I'm sorry because you give me that chance, and that was a sick raw one, and it's just that I had. This
is even better. Look,
thank you, mate.
So, a pearl of wisdom. What would you say to a young Anthony Russell coming through the doors of life now?
Just grab it with both hands, because you know one time you're young and it flies, don't it? And we take life for granted sometimes. Just grab it with both hands, and you know, if you've got a goal, go for it. You know, don't let no one say you can't do it, because you can do it. You're worth it. Yes,
right. And with that, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Billy. I love you to bits. Thank you so much, mate.